Good morning. I'm about to do the call. Brian's introducing me. Start in a minute. Here we go. Good morning, Brian, and good morning, everybody. And as I mentioned on the pre-call, I am out in sunny Las Vegas, having just come back. I went to Mount Rushmore, which was, guys, I don't know. I'm like sappy about, I know a lot of times overseas people say, oh, Americans, they always want to wave their flag and all that stuff. Well, let me tell you something. I went to Mount Rushmore and I just sat there and cried. It was absolutely incredible. And we went through the canyons and the this and drove all over Wyoming and then back through Jackson and the Grand Tetons and then back down to Las Vegas, Nevada. So I got back to the hotel here and I got into the suite and I was so happy because there was a big bathtub and a big, 1,200 thread count sheets because we were roughing it on the road. But what an adventure that was, having seen parts of the country that I've never seen. And I wrote a letter to my own list. I cannot express to you enough how having the ability to do this is the most magical thing. For you, it might be the mountains, it might be the cruises, which I love, it might be the going to Europe or going to Asia or Africa, wherever you want to go, whatever you want to do. Work now, invest your time with us now. We're here every single day for you to help you so that you can live the life that you want. Now, I don't know what life you want. I know what life I always wanted to travel, and I'm doing it, whether it's, running around with a backpack on a trail or whether it's sitting in a suite like I am right now. It's so worth it. So this morning, and by the way, so worth it. And I'm not going to sit here and flash because I see there's other stuff going on right now. In fact, there's stuff going on in town. And it's very exciting, it's very flashy, and it's very fancy, and it's very this. But one thing I have to tell you about My Lead System Pro, and I've been here for 10 years, guys, it is real. It is as real as it comes. We don't sugarcoat it. We don't, put spotlights on it. We just tell you the truth about what's involved and what the leaders that you see are doing. And wouldn't you like to do it too? And I'm going to be honest. I do it in a very rudimentary way. I'm still kind of old school. I'm not real fancy when it comes to my marketing, but I do know a few things that have made me a lot of money. In fact, just this past week while I was traveling, I made thousands of dollars from my car or from the rented car, I should say, just with my phone and having written a couple letters at night. So really powerful. All right. So tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern is my monthly mastermind. It's called The Deep Abyss. And tonight we're going to talk about something. We covered it years ago, but of course it's years later and I have a lot more to say about it. We're going to be talking about the laws of prosperity. And in fact, I put the graphic for today said, don't break the law. Maybe some people thought it was about compliance or something, that you'll get in trouble for, but not at all. It's about the laws of the universe. Okay. Sounds a little woo-woo. Laws of prosperity, laws that obligate money to come towards you. And I learned about this stuff years and years and years ago, and it tilted my world forever. My mentor used to talk about obligating success, obligating people to pay you, obligating, sounds so fancy, obligating, making it impossible. I believe that every single person I meet that is appropriate for the business, obviously not, people I meet on the street, will sooner or later do business with me. I really believe that. I believe that I will serve them in such a way that sooner or later they will want to give me money in some capacity. It may be $5, it may be $5,000, it may be $50,000. I don't know. And it doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be today. But I believe that everybody sooner or later will give me money. Now, some people give me a lot of money. Some people give me a couple dollars. But sooner or later, somebody will buy a product from me if they hang around this industry. And if I hang around this industry, and I've been here long enough, I've been around 22 years, I'm probably going to be around Well, I'm 55. I will do another 20 years. I'm in for another 20. So how do you get to the point, one, where that's your belief, right? Where that's your belief. And two, how do you get to the point that you know that you know that you know that income has to come towards you, prosperity has to come towards you, love and friends and all the things that we crave and desire? Because a lot of times we think we want money, it's really not what we want. But that's a whole nother story for another day in another class. So there's probably six. I don't know if I'm going to go through all of them tonight. We probably won't have time. But there's like 6, 7, 8 laws that, when studied and when practiced, literally cause what you want to come towards you. And the thing that's really hard is it's very easy to listen. Listen tonight. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. In fact, I didn't put it on my graphic I'm broadcasting the call to. It's thedeepabyss.com. Should have put it on there. I don't know what I was thinking. But when you come tonight, okay, you're going to learn something. Your eyes are going to open. Your mind is going to open. Okay. And it's, by the way, it's the same if you come to any of our trainings. If you were just in Aaron and Kim's epic training that they just did for everybody, right? Epic training, whether you come to a Tuesday, funnel session, whether you come to the Thursday social networking session, whatever session you come to, our level 1 workshop, it's very easy to go and listen. Okay. And what happens is we hear it, our eyes open, we start to go, whoa, it's a whole new concept. It's a whole new idea. We finish the class, we're jacked up. And then the question is, are you willing to start the next morning practicing the ideas and concepts? I'm going to teach you tonight some very simple ideas and concepts. Some of you guys have been around since I taught it the last time, which probably was six years ago. Okay. The question is, will you adopt these practices in your everyday life? Will you allow yourself the discipline to think a little differently and act a little differently? And by the way, it's the same with the marketing. We've all been taught to chase. We've all been taught to chase. We've all been taught to chase. So it actually, in fact, I have clients that tell me that when I teach them how to reverse the tide and how to attract people and how to bring people towards them, it makes them nervous because they feel like they're cheating on their MLMs, right? They feel like they're cheating because they're not doing the thing that they were told to do. Well, it's the same with prosperity principles. My mom and dad taught me to work hard, and my mom and dad taught me to save my money under my mattress and put it in the piggy bank. And my mom and dad taught me a lot of ideas, and they were the ideas that served them well in the time that they were in. But it didn't get them to wealth. It got them to security. And I think security is great. And I think that I'm somebody who had security for many years and then leapt and decided to leap into these laws and found out that the security sits inside of ourselves, right? The security sits inside of ourselves. Because if you look at the economy today, right? What's the inflation? And I think I heard, I try not to watch the news much, but in passing, it was on while we were traveling. And I heard like the inflation's like at 8%. So even if you put your money in your piggy bank and you stuck it under your mattress, your money's becoming worth less and less and less. I generally don't drive a lot at home. I drive to the supermarket. I don't drive a lot. So I never really think much about the price of gas. But when you're driving cross country and the gas is over $5 a gallon and you're driving 2,000 miles, you tend to think about the price of gas. And I remember how shocking it was to me. I remember how shocking it was, the price of different, it's just me. I take care of me. I'm not feeding a family anymore. So I'm not thinking about groceries. It's shocking to look at the prices of everything, just running into a store. My favorite, I have to admit, I'm a DoorDash person. I like to get things delivered, and the prices from my favorite restaurant went up significantly. So here's the question. If you keep thinking about making money in the same way that you've been doing all along, is that going to help you keep up or surpass? I'm not worried. And I'm not bragging and I'm not being a jerk, but I'm not worried about inflation. Because as the old Doritos commercial used to say, right, the Doritos commercial, people would eat up the Doritos and they'd go, we'll make more. I think it was Jay Leno. I don't know how many years ago that was. We'll make more, right? So if the money gets used up because of inflation, we'll make more. If you're thinking right and if you're in the space and you understand the laws that will obligate prosperity to come to you. Now, for those of you that choose not to come to the deep abyss, and as Brian said, it's $25. It's a whopping $25 to learn something that will change your life, right? It's $25, thedeepabyss.com. But let's say you decide, something else going on. And by the way, it is recorded and it's immediately streamed into our Facebook group, which means it's available immediately. If you are in Europe and the timing isn't good because it's like, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it's 1 o'clock in the morning over there. If the timing isn't good, if you're, you have something going on Thursday nights, it's always the third Thursday of the month. But if you can't make it, the recording is there, right? And somebody just said, and over here where I'm talking to people on Facebook, somebody said best $25 I've ever spent. Thank you. I can't see who that is. It says Facebook user, but I know you're awesome. One of my friends, no doubt. Let's say you can't make it and you think this is dumb and I just want to get to the point where how do you make the money? I don't want to learn how to think. If you're still in that place, maybe you're new to all these ideas. I love you. I'm going to give you the info on where you can find some of this and read it yourself. The only problem is that when you don't work it out with other people, when you don't mastermind on it, when you don't think about it together as a group, if you don't have it broken down and explained to you and you read the old books about it, it's a little hard to wrap your head around at times, but you can go grab the Catherine Ponder. Okay, the dynamic. Now I'm going to talk about them kind of different in my own vibe on them, particularly as it pertains to this industry. So am I going to do the Catherine Ponder thing? No, because that book it's a heavy book. Go read it. Okay, go read it. And there's a lot of other books that are over 100 years old. That one isn't, but books that are over 100 years old, I can tell you to read. I've read all these books. Okay, I've listened to them, I've read them, I've absorbed them. But the difference was I sat with a mentor and picked them apart. I did not try to pick them apart alone. But if you are thinking, oh, they want me to pay, no problem. You don't have to pay. Go get that book, put it on your Kindle, whatever, read it. If you're thinking, I don't have time, the sentence, I don't have time to learn to think, is one of the most dangerous sentences you could utter or even have in your head. I don't have time to learn to think. An hour with an uncommon mentor, an hour with the right mentor can tilt your world forever. It can save you hours and hours and hours and hours of agony, and it can save you thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on what we call the stupid tax, okay? Because this is the money that we spend on trying to chase and trying to catch, okay? When you learn these concepts and ideas and you apply them to everything you're doing, for example, when we learn about prospecting and closing, these are important, critical. Everybody has to learn how to do these skills. And by the way, you can't automate what you don't know how to do manually, right? It's really great. I want to automate everything. You can't automate what you don't know how to do manually. So learning to prospect and learning to close and learning to speak to people are some of the greatest skills on the face of the earth. Then when you layer on these laws of prosperity and you layer on these concepts, what happens is magic occurs. And what happens is the concept of time and space shifts. Again, sounds woo-woo because how many of you guys are busy making your schedule on how many hours you're going to work this week because you're thinking like an employee. You're busy making a schedule and you're making charts and pie charts and graphs and calendars and all of that good stuff, right? You're doing all that good stuff. And that is really important, right? That's really important. And especially when you're in the beginning and you're trying to learn these skills, it is very important. But there is a time and there is a place where you can learn some concepts. And again, I sound like I'm crazy, but it's true. I live it. I know others that live it, where you transcend traffic, where you shift into a place where you become magically attractive and magically prosperous. And then when you practice these laws, and in fact, I have a good friend that I'm constantly nagging. I know he thinks I'm nuts, but I'm like, well, just do this because this will obligate this. Just do this because this will make this happen. Whether people believe me or not, that's not up to me. Whether people practice it or not, that's not up to me. My job is to show you what was taught to me. That's my job. That's my only job, to show you what was taught to me so that at some point, someone, one of you, somebody, anybody will hear it, will use it, and it will happen for you too. Let me close with this, and then we're going to head over to the MLSP fan page for a little live Q&A, anything you guys want. And again, it's thedeepabyss.com to answer your questions. Yes, it is a monthly mastermind. It happens the third Thursday of every month. Sometimes I'm home most of the time. Sometimes I'm out on the road. Today I'm out on the road. Still happening because this is my commitment to this community that I've had for all these years that we've been doing this. I have testimony after testimony after testimony from people saying this group changed their life. It is a monthly. Come 1 month and cancel. Come 1 month and say you didn't like it, get your money back. Stay a long time. That's what I recommend. I have members that have been with us since the very beginning. We've been doing this for years. But the big deal is the idea that you sit and you dissect with others and you think together and you put this together as a group, and then you go out and you put it into practice. People have watched me time and time again just grab money out of the air. Again, this sounds like I'm hyping you up. I am not. I'm the last person on earth. Trust me, ask any of my students. I'm the last person on earth that's going to hype you. Okay. I'm the first person that's going to tell you how hard it is, how much work it is, what you have to do, what's involved if you want to get to the level where you're really free. Okay. I'm the first person on earth that's going to tell you, but I'm also the first person on earth that's going to tell you the truth that I can make money fall from the skies. I make a decision. Now, a lot of times I'm a lazy ass. In fact, a couple of people in my group, they say they're lazy asses in training. They joke about it. Sorry if I used a bad word, but they joke about it because you get to be a lazy ass later. I won't do much for a while, right? I'm goofing around, I'm traveling around, and this and that. And then I will go on a run, and I will go on a run, and I will recruit more people and sell more stuff than anybody. Like, people sit there and they go, how did you do that? Because I learned these laws. And when you put these laws and ideas and concepts into play, you can't help but have this happen. The only problem is you got to trust the law. Okay. You got to obey the law. And a lot of times these ideas are so new and different that people they don't believe it's possible. It is. So tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, thedeepabyss.com. To all of you that are members and have benefited, give a shout out in the MLSP Facebook group. Let people know your experience. Share with people some of the things you've gotten out of it. We cover everything. A lot of times it's just marketing ideas and advanced marketing. And when I say advanced, I don't mean technical, but like psychological marketing moves and concepts. Other times we're doing stuff like this. And by the way, this applies to your life. This applies to your relationships. This applies to your housing. This applies to everything. These laws, they don't have to do specifically with this business, but I apply them to this business. So that's it. I'm going to go over to MLSPfanpage.com, or if you're on Facebook, just type My Lead System Pro in and find our page. I'm going to go live over there. Let's talk about this. If you have been part of the Deep Abyss for a while, I'd love for you to join us and share your experience. And with that being said, I'm out of here. See you guys later from Las Vegas. Take care. Okay, stop the call. Stop the call. I was going to stop the broadcast and not the call. I'm going to jump over to the fan page. For those of you guys that were watching this and said some nice things about the Deep Abyss, I'd love if you'd come over or put something in the MLSP Facebook group would even better. Let them know tonight's call is going to be super powerful. Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit.